So I'm going to give it 5. Let's just give it a 5 just for the F word. Hello and welcome back on my channel. Thank you so much for joining me again. If you're new here, welcome. Hi, my name is Cece. I have a bunch of fun stuff on my channel. You can check out my 1 hour long read with me videos where you have real-time footage of me reading and you have some music to listen to. You can listen to some short stories that I'm reading. I have some reading vlogs. I have a manga recommendation series. But today we're here to look at my TBR. And I look at it a little bit differently. I made a game out of it, but not a game out of picking it, a game out of guessing if I can determine what rating this book will be just by reading the first sentence. For this, my good friend Annika has written all the first sentences of the books that I have on my plan for February on these sheets of paper. And I have way too many books again, but they all have a reason to be on there. I'm going to try to read as many as I can of them, and that's just how it is. That's how I roll. I have too many books on my TBR. That is me. The way that you can then find out what book this first sentence belongs to is two different ways. One, if you cannot wait and you just are, there's this one sentence that you're like, oh my god, I want to read this book right now. What is it? Look down the description box. If you open up the description box, there's the full list with all the first sentences that we're going to go through today and what the book is. I encourage you to play along, get a pen, paper while I read this out and do your rating. I want to know what you would rate, what you would think you would rate the book by hearing the first sentence. Or just tell me, which would you be super interested in reading just by hearing the first sentence? Which do you think is not for you? Tell me in the comments. Now, the other way of knowing what this first sentence is going to be, which book it is just by watching my wrap-ups. During my wrap-ups, I will review the book, will give you a synopsis of the books that I've read, and then tell you about the rating and see how the rating matches up with my prediction. So, now that we have talked for several minutes, we have a lot of books to get through, so let's just dive in and let's go. 1. Annika discovered the woman by accident when he went to see what was left of one of his villages. So Annika has replaced all the names with her own name, so I cannot tell by the name of the main character which book it is. Annika discovered the woman by accident when he went to see what was left of one of his villages. That's a tough one. That gives a lot of context. We're diving in with a lot of broad context. He owns a village, discovers a woman, but it also feels a little bit bland. I'm going to give it a 3.5 because the writing style feels a little bit bland, or it could be old, which I do have a couple of books that could be from. Annika had been in a body for 28 minutes and it still felt every bit as wrong as it had the second she woke up. Oh, I like this a lot. She had been in a body for 28 minutes and it still felt every bit as wrong as it had the second she woke up. So for 28 minutes, Annika is feeling that it's wrong or that this body is wrong. This sounds super intriguing. I think there's a lot of setup already in this one sentence that tells me I want to know more and I want to understand more. And I'm giving this 4.55. Let's give it a 5. Let's dish it out. At 30,000 feet, somewhere between Buffalo and Dallas, he put his magazine in his seat pocket, turned in my direction, and asked, "What kind of work do you do?" I'm getting a little bit of a I'm better than all of you vibe. I don't know why, but I'm getting this. I'm gonna tell you now how my job is better than you, elitist, the type of I'm so insightful and I know it all, and I'm gonna teach you. And you're so lucky that you're in the seat next to me on a plane, because I'm gonna be able to give you all my wisdom. I'm gonna give it 2.5. This is gonna be so funny if it ends up being a 5-star and I really love it and I'm so dead wrong, but that's just the vibe it's giving me. Let me know if you felt the same. The repair bot had been busy for a long time. Okay, repair bot says sci-fi, which is not a surprise because I have quite a bit of sci-fi. Maybe you can see, this is my February TBR, at least the physical copies back there. And maybe you can identify some of the sci-fis on my TBR. Had been busy for a long time. That's a very interesting way to start. I kind of like it. I want to read the second sentence now. It could be in the range between 3.5 and 4.5, so I'll just give it a 4. Annika nudged my calf with his cold wet nose and dropped a tennis ball on my foot. So we have a dog who wants to play with the character. I'm honestly a little bit bored. I don't know why. Maybe because I'm not a dog person, but for some reason I'm bored. Let's give this a 3. Annika's widow in the Southern California city of Forsyth had become a prostitute. The widow had become a prostitute. Okay. It's kind of, I don't know, this could go in any direction. I would find it interesting to follow a prostitute. That we're talking about a widow, and we're obviously naming them in the very beginning. I'm wondering if this book is going to be more about this guy who died and made Annika the widow. Annika's widow. Wait, what? Do you say that? Do you say Annika's widow if Annika dies? And then Annika's wife becomes a widow? Do you say Annika's widow? I'm so confused. I'll give it a 2.5. Just because I'm confused. If you confuse me, you get a bad rating. The song began its life not with a fanfare or a crash or cymbals, but instead with a knock at a door. This sounds epic, pretentious. It sounds like wants to set the stage for ta-ta-ta-ta. I have a feeling that this is romance. I'm gonna write this because I want to know if I'm right. Let's see if I am right saying that this is romance, just because of the ta-ta-ta-ta feeling. I have no idea if you know what I mean by ta-ta-ta-ta feeling, but that is exactly what it is. And I am going to give it a 2.5 because romance. Sorry. And I do have romance on my shelf. Oh dear, Annika said, wiping the sweat from his brow. Now, I know that we had this last time, and last time I gave this a 3. But for some reason, I feel more like this is something that I would like this month. Let's give it a 4. I believe that because this could be any genre, and we're getting very detailed wiping sweat from the brow. I don't know, I'm feeling this month. I hope that I actually get to it this month. The one you have to watch for is The White Fox, Annika said, sipping his beer. So this sounds very pub gossipy from the start. So potentially village, or this could be like medieval fantasy village, or this also could be cozy mystery. We're in a small town, although I don't have a cozy mystery with a male lead. So, but it's getting me very different vibes. The one you have to watch for is the white fox, Annika said, sipping his beer. Let's give it a 3. I think this could be either 2.5 or 3.5. Let's get the longest one out. Look, I am aware that you're here for an epic tale of intrigue and mystery and adventure and near death and actual death. But in order to get to that, unless you want to skip to chapter 13, I'm not your boss, you're going to have to deal with the fact that I, April May, in addition to being one of the most important things that have ever happened to human race, am also a woman in her 20s who has made some mistakes. Yes. This has to be a 5. This just, the writing style... This is the first sentence, aka paragraph. And I love the humor. I love the cattiness, bitchiness of this. The girl stood at the window, staring bleakly into the world beyond. I find this a little bit bland. I find this a little bit slow. If this is part of an epic series, then this could be okay. If this is a standalone, then I would be afraid that this is too slow. Interesting is that it starts with the girl, so no name. So we're disassociating with this person in a way as well. Let's give this 3.5 because I'm having hopes that this is better than the first vibe. As she woke up in the pod, she remembered 3 things. I like this. I like this. I'm giving it 4. I like the waking up in a pod. I like that we have in a very short amount. This already tells us so many things. It tells us that somebody was asleep, probably something like a cryo sleep or something, that she's remembering 3 things, so not more, not less. So we're limited to her memory. And the way that it's written, I immediately want to know what's in the whole paragraph and the next paragraph. So 4. The next one says, "Come on," Annika begged. I'm not sure if I like if books start this way. It feels I want to say cheap, but cheap is not the right word. It feels generic. I don't know why, but something about this feels generic. So I'm going to give it a generic 3. We need some more 5 stars because I know I have some good books on the TBR. Annika stood on the wide covered porch of his hilltop home, watching the season's first snowfall coat the land with white. This is poetic. I kind of like it, I think. Let's give this a 4. I like it. There's something about this. Here's the second biggest one. The examination of Annika was taken on... Oh, that's actually 2. Oh my gosh, I'm so stupid. If I could just do my job right, I know. The examination of Annika was taken on, redacted, at the Horizons Residential Treatment Center for Behavioral Health. So we're examining somebody in a residential treatment center for behavioral health. So we have somebody who's problematic and they're being examined, and it needed to be redacted. Something needed to be redacted because it would have given away the book. Let's give this a 4, 3.5, 4, 3.5. Not sure about this. Something intrigues me about it, but it's also, I don't know. He noticed the stickers first, surrounding the car's rear window and lining the bumper. Honk if you're horny, don't follow me, I'm lost. When you drive like I do, you better believe in God. Horn broken, watch for finger, real men love Jesus. Okay, so we obviously are playing in the time where it's normal to have cars and these kind of stickers. So all the really old books and the more fantasy, medieval type vibe books wouldn't be. This is probably more of a contemporary. And the type of stickers give me an eye roll. So I'm wondering if we're going to be following this type of people that give me an eye roll. So I'm just gonna say 3 stars because of eye roll. Let's see if I'm going to say the word eye roll when I do the wrap up. Because during the wrap ups, I do not remember what I said in this video here, right here. As it turned out, a pissed off drag queen with a grappling hook was a force to be reckoned with. Just because the image of a pissed off drag queen with a grappling hook is something that I would enjoy so much, I'm going to give it a 4.5. I think that would be fabulous. I think if we're starting that way, this book is going to be very, very humorous. 3 things happened the week I found out. Ooh! Okay. I do like this. I like when the first sentence gives us this little premise of, what did you find out? What 3 things happened? And this in such a short sentence, that is fabulous. And I'm going to give it, let's just be generous and give it a 5 star. I wanted to give it a 4.5, but I haven't given enough 5ers. There's a pirate in the basement. I love it. And I think I had the same one last month, and even potentially the month before. So this has been with me a while, and I'm going to give it 5. I don't know if I gave it 5 last month, but I probably did, because just starting out by saying, hey, by the way, there is a pirate in the basement, has there's some spice to it. I don't know. I love it. There's some sassiness in it. I hope that the writing style actually conjures that. Ghosts travel in packs. It's a very short statement at the beginning of the book. Now the question is that information? Is that world building, or what is this? Ghosts travel in packs. So I'm not into ghost stories, and if we have more than one ghost, it doesn't make it better. So let's give it a 2.5, just because I'm not into ghost stories. The writing style could be interesting, but yeah, I feel indifferent about it. There was a boy in her room. Okay, so the way this is written, she is surprised by the boy in her room, and I like that. Raises a lot of questions. Let's give it 4 stars, because I want these questions to be answered. Death hunted beneath the waves. Oh, this could be poetic, this could be lyrical, this could be death hunted beneath the waves. I do like the writing style, and I have a feeling, so let's see if this is fantasy, because if this is fantasy, I will like the writing style. If it's not, I won't like the writing style. I can't really explain it. Tell me in the comments if you understand what I mean by the lyrical writing style matches some settings and it doesn't match others. So I'm going to give it 4 stars, assuming that it will be a nice fantasy that I'm going to enjoy. On the first day, no one really noticed. Ooh, what did nobody notice? No one noticed, really. Again, we have the way of writing something in the very first sentence that immediately wants me to continue, so I know what it is that no one noticed. It has a very contemporary dystopian kind of feeling. I am going to give it 4 stars. Walk up, hissed Annika somewhat fiercely. This gives me nothing. This gives me no vibes whatsoever. Walk up, hissed Annika somewhat fiercely. So we have somebody fierce who's hissing and kind of with their words pushing someone to the front. So it has a very bullying, aggressive kind of vibe, a kind of, it feels very rough and raw, which could be nice. So let's give it a 3.5. So interested to see if this is correct, that it's rough and raw somehow. In the end, this is like this super fluffy romance. When it comes to the streets, there's rules. Okay, I like this because this is telling us that we're going to be on the street. So I am feeling contemporary vibes of a not so safe space. This could potentially be Concrete Rose. I wanted to stop making assumptions, but I'm getting the vibe of a book like Concrete Rose, so I'm going to give it a 4-star. It's just a nice setup. I'm getting married and you're invited. Okay, I like that. It sounds like this book is going to be fun. This has like a rom-com style, which is not necessarily my thing, but the way that it's starting out, the way that it's saying, hey, I'm getting married and you're invited, this is just giving off a very fun and relaxed and kind of vibe. It doesn't take itself too serious potentially, so let me give this 3.5 because it still is going to be romance. Let me just write romance alert. Okay, we have only 4 left and they're all short. My father was dead. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. This is heavy. This is a very heavy start. The way that this is a statement placed at the very beginning of the book, just no introduction, no nothing. It's not putting us into a situation, it's putting us into a mood, a very depressed, reserved mood. So this could be a very serious book. The way that I said book, it sounded like it could be anything else but a book. We're just talking about books here, duh. Let me give it a 3.5 because I'm getting weirdly serious vibes from it. And I feel like I don't really... Oh yes, I do have some serious books that I feel like could have this vibe, but they don't swing with this, so I don't know. I'm a liar. See, this is a statement that makes me interested, that doesn't pull me down. I mean, obviously, if this book... there's a good reason to start with my father's dead, but it sets a very different mood to I'm a liar. That is a very intriguing setting of mood, and that tells me that the writing style could be a little bit more cheeky, a little bit more sassy, and I do enjoy that. So I am going to give it 4.5. You will love him to ruins. Okay. I immediately feel eye roll. So I'm thinking again, romance alert. I don't have as much romance on my TBR as I am giving out romance alerts. Oh, you will love him to ruins could be a fantasy as well. I'm gonna give it 3 stars. I think this could land in the middle. And the last one is history is bleep wild. So we actually have the F word here. So somebody who writes that out, history is effing wild. We're talking about history. So that is not something that I would expect from a fantasy setting. That's more of what I would expect from either a historical fiction that is playing in several timelines or a more contemporary one. Somehow I'm feeling it because the author is cursing. So I'm going to give it 4, 5. Let's just give it a 5 just for the F word. let's give it the benefit of the doubt. So these are all the books that I have on my TBR for February. I'm not saying all the books that I'm reading for February. Now, one thought that I had, I'm selecting the ones that I read by different prioritization, like book clubs and all these kind of things. Tell me down in the comments if you would be interested if the rating actually determines the ranking of like the order of my TBRs. So after ranking them, I will have to read them in the order from best rating to worst rating. That could be an idea that I could do in March. Tell me in the comments if you would like to see that. Aside from that, this is, by the way, from the Once Upon a Book Club box, and it says The Book of Regrets, and I feel like it fits my TBR and the mood of my TBR. The Book of Regrets is all the books that stay on my shelf at the end of the month. Let's get into reading. I've been doing so many videos and so much editing for the past couple of days that I have barely read anything. That's not helping to get through my TBR. Let's get through my TBR, and actually, if I have actually done 31 in under 30 minutes, I feel so proud of me, and you can just tell me in the comments how proud of me you am as well. All right, this is it. Let me know, what are your favorite first sentences? Which books have you potentially read? If you have looked in the spoilers, which books are included, and what the rating from the first sentence match your real rating. I want to know it all. Put it in the comments, and I hope to see you again on my channel real soon. Until then, bye.
Just loving this moment. Can we stay here forever? I'm loving this moment. Can we stay here together? If I could stop the time, don't you know